Hey everybody! I just wanted to make a video about our reading strategy from this week called Zoom In, Zoom Out, Zoom Deep and Wide. I learned this strategy at a conference in May, and I think that it's just a fun way about thinking about reading, and we're actually going to practice today with a visual image, but we want to be active readers. We want to be doing things, we want to be thinking, we want to be analyzing while we read. That will help us understand the material and also to recall the material better, which is one of our main goals in education, right? Because we're going to have to regurgitate that information on a quiz or a test in a couple of weeks. And so I want you to be an active reader. So asking these questions as you're reading, as you're going along, thinking about other questions that you could ask is one way to keep your brain engaged while you're reading. So let's look at this together. Okay, so our driving question here is, how can I determine the main idea? And I know that some of you feel like you're terrible at identifying what the main idea is, but I am hoping that this method will kind of help you sift through the details, see how they work together, and to come up with a good main idea. Okay, so we're going to practice this with a picture, and this is our picture. And we're going to ask a few questions that kind of guide the other questions that we're going to ask. So the first question is, we're going to zoom out. What is this question? What is this picture about? Okay. And so I want you to stop the video and think about, what is this picture about? Okay. So we're not going to spend too long on this question right now. We're going to come back to it again after we finish looking at the details. But I want you to have said something like, it's about a couple that's kissing in the street after some kind of riot or something. Okay, so let's look at the details of the story. And some questions that drive our details are who, what, when, and where. Okay, so who is in this picture? Like, our eye is drawn to the couple that's kissing on the pavement, but there's also the man in riot gear, or woman, I guess, the person in riot gear at the front of the picture, and then we see some more people in the back and kind of assume that those are also people that are trying to control the riots. And then on the other side of them, you see the protesters. We assume it's protesters because these people have riot gear on. So we're asking ourselves questions like, what are these people protesting? How did that girl end up in the street? Why are they kissing in the street? When was this picture taken? Is this a recent picture? Is this picture old? Their clothes look like clothes we'd see right now. The riot gear looks like riot gear we'd see right now. So there's nothing in this picture that makes me think that it's not pretty recent. But that's a good question to ask. Where is this? We don't have any information about where it is. So are there some clues that you could think about or notice that would give you a clue to see where this is? Right, so we're looking at all of these details. We see the haze in the sky, right? Probably from a smoke bomb. We see the people, the riot gear, the people making out on pavement. Why is she on the ground? Like, what is happening? Okay, and so all of those details work together to form what this picture is about, right? And this picture is about this couple kissing in the street after something has happened with the riot gear people, right? Somehow she got knocked down by the rioters or by the police, and he is kissing her on the ground. So that's what the picture is about. But beyond that, I want you to analyze the picture or the article or whatever that we're reading, and then apply it. So here we're going to ask some why questions, maybe some how questions, some what does that mean questions. Excuse me. So what does it mean? Why is she on the ground? What happened? What's the context? Why are they rioting? Was the riot successful? Did they accomplish what they wanted from the riot? The street looks surprisingly not that littered with stuff. So what does that tell you about the rioters? And there's no wrong answer in this section, okay? We're really just trying to think through, ask some good questions about the picture in this case, or the article. How does it apply to me? And what does that mean? Now, let me just tell you that our brains love emotions, and the things that are emotional will stick with us. Okay, so think about, can this article, or in this case a picture, connect to you emotionally? I'm going to be able to remember that better on my quiz next week. Or what does that mean to me personally? Can I connect it to an experience that I've had, or something that I know about? Or our brain also works best when we build connections. And so part of our reading critically, we're building connections. How is this picture related to something else you saw, related to something else you read, an example of something else that you know, but we're always thinking, how does this connect? Okay? And so hopefully by asking these questions while you're reading, trying to figure out the answer, annotating on the side, right? Writing notes about questions and answers that you have, you're staying engaged in the reading so that you get to the end, right? And you're not like, I have no idea what I just read. So I have one more thing. This is just the information about the picture. So it says, this is a BuzzFeed article, Australian Scott Jones kisses his Canadian girlfriend Alex Thomas after she was knocked to the ground by a police officer's riot shield in Vancouver, British Columbia. Canadians rioted after the Vancouver Canucks lost to the Stanley Cup to the Boston Bruins. Okay, so does that information change any of your thoughts or answers from the previous slide? I mean, honestly, it did for me, because now I'm kind of like, okay, well, they're rioting because of a hockey team. Clearly, I'm not very sporty, and then that's just not something that could motivate me to riot. But anyway, so I kind of put this in here at the end because I want you to be motivated to ask questions that aren't in the text. What is missing? What else do we need to know to have a complete picture about this? Could there be other factors involved? But we're always asking questions about what we're reading, about what we're seeing. Okay, so one more example. We'll go through this one a little quicker. This, we're going to zoom out, right? What's this picture about? Pause the video, think about it. What's about? It looks like a bunch of people on a carnival ride, right? So this is a picture of people on a carnival ride. So when we zoom in, right, who are these people? Well, we see that the women are wearing headscarves, so that makes me think it's probably somewhere in the Middle East. These people are smiling, they're happy. That makes me think it's, that plus the ride itself makes me think this must be in a fairly safe, free part of the Middle East. The women are out in public, they're doing fun things. When was this ride and when was this picture taken? Again, I think it's pretty recent. There's nothing that would make you think that it's not. Where was it taken? We kind of talked about that. And are there any other questions, any other who, what, when, where questions that you could come up with to kind of help you figure out more details about this picture? So think about that. And then we're going to go back to our zoom out. So did those details give us any more information about our main idea? Well, now we have some idea maybe that this is maybe somewhere in the Middle East, but it's a free country in the Middle East, and the people there are getting to enjoy things like carnival rides, and they're happy. So when we zoom deep and wide, maybe we think about how what else is missing from here? What does this mean? What's the context? Why do I think this about this picture? That kind of thing. Okay, and then some more information about this image. It was taken in Iraq, and right after they experienced some freedom, and just so fun. So we have kind of a deeper understanding of this picture, knowing the history behind it. So again, I'm wanting you just to ask lots of questions, to be thinking about what you're not, what you don't know, what you need to know, what you need to look up, what you need to figure out. Reading is an active process. It is not sitting on the couch, opening a book, and you just go. That's not how you're going to read successfully. You can read novels like that, right? But you cannot read textbooks like that. You cannot read articles like that. It is a process that requires a lot of critical thinking, a lot of thinking while you're doing it. Anyway, so that's zoom in, zoom out, zoom deep and wide. We'll continue to talk about it through this semester, and I will talk to you soon.